All right, hello and welcome to our 30-minute slow flow today. If you have your blocks, your props, or anything of the like, you want to grab them, you can go ahead and do that. It's good to have your props and your blocks around. I like to use blocks, so if you have those, that's great. I always like to start off by saying too, you want to make sure you're in a quiet space. So if you can get away from your family, away from your pets, if you like to do yoga with your pets, that's fine. But sometimes they can be a little distracting. So I want to introduce us to the new series we're going to be getting into, a new theme, and that is slowing down, being quiet with God, and also being still in His presence. I'm not really sure what I'm calling it yet, but if you're a member, you'll be able to see it like in the when it shows the class titles and the class titles. Yes. So in this series, we're going to really be focusing on our breath, as well as really learning to be in the present moment and to really learn to slow down. So here in this current video, we're in the summer season, and sometimes we have so much going on, whether it be parties or things to do outside, or make a lot of things happening, kids camps, whatever it might be. And see if you can just take time to just every day, if you can, to just take time to settle, to quiet the mind and the body. And we're just going to look at verses as we move throughout that this time together. So go ahead and come into a seat. You can always lay down. As always, my favorite new position is using a wall. So maybe sitting on a block, maybe sitting against the wall. Maybe you want to sit in a chair. We're going to take this time to practice our Lectio Divina, which means divine reading. So we're just going to marinate in God's word just a few moments before we start our movements. We'll be meditating in Matthew 6:34. So it's it's a bit of a popular one, but it talks about being here in the now, here in the moment. So seeing if you can really anchor into this moment with God. Not only are we going to be slowing down our movements, we're going to be slowing down our breathing, maybe slowing down our schedules. Maybe there's a day of the week that you have declared as your Sabbath, or you don't do much. And just hear these words from the English Standard Version. It says, "Therefore, do not be anxious about tomorrow, for tomorrow will be anxious for itself. Sufficient for the day of its own trouble." So I believe the scripture is really telling us to be here now, to not worry about future things, not worry about tomorrow, and just learn to be in the present moment, here in this sacred space with God. You find that your mind drifts, it's hard for you to stay still, or it's hard for you to be present. See if you can really turn your breath on. See if you can really notice maybe the smells in the room, the sounds in the room. Notice if you're holding any tension in your body. Maybe notice how you're seated. And just begin to notice the gentle rise and fall of your chest. Learning to meditate or practice Lectio Divina or any other practice, even yoga, of course, takes time, takes practice. So we're going to remember to be gentle and kind with ourselves as we move throughout this practice. We're just going to read our Lectio Divina one more time, from the voice version. I want you to notice if maybe something's stirring up in you. Maybe you're having some worry about tomorrow or the future, and you just kind of want to lay your burdens down, like we talked a lot about last month. Maybe you want to learn to be present, learn to really dial into your breath, into the sacred space with God. Hearing these words one last time. So do not worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Living faithfully is a large enough task for today. Lord, we just thank you for this time, for this sacred space, for our breath. Help us to not worry about tomorrow, and help us to be present in the moment, in today. Maybe we're even in a time of struggling, of grief, of sadness, of darkness. But help us to just grow closer to you in that time, knowing that in the dark, you always bring light. Help us to just really deepen our breaths and really become present in every moment, being aware of your word and where you're guiding us. And above all, help us to just grow closer to you each and every day. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. Gently flutter your eyes open when you're ready and come into your seat. So I'm really excited about this new theme because I really love talking about being here in the present moment. And just like anything in yoga, when we breathe through the tension, we breathe through the tension in life. When we breathe into the present moment, so you're very present. So what does it mean to be present? It means that you're not thinking about yesterday, you're not thinking about tomorrow, you're not thinking about all the things you have to do. You're here in this moment. And what I love so much about the present moment is that for me personally, I can feel God's presence with me. And I can remember that moment. Like that moment doesn't just pass me by and it just kind of drifts off into the distance or into another space. It stays with me. So if you have any questions about being present or about anything in general, please feel free to reach out at any time. So we're going to come into our seat and then go ahead and just find some gentle hip or gentle heart openers here. So reach your heart towards the sky, maybe even open up your throat, breathing in and then breathing out, bring your chin towards your chest. So just finding that gentle cat and cow. If you want to stay in one shape a little bit longer, remember you always have that option. Maybe open up your heart, big breath in, and then exhale, chin to chest. Just find one more of those, breathing in, softening your face, your forehead, and then breathing out, chin to chest. So lovely. When you're ready, gently make your way to your tabletop. So maybe making your way there. Just finding your cat and cow here. So bring your gaze towards the sky, big breath in. And then exhale, chin back to chest, arch your shoulders towards the sky, press into your palms. And then just find a few of these just with your eyes closed. And seeing if you can really carry that breath with you. Choosing not to be fearful, not to be anxious, not to worry, about the future. And just being here in the now, in the present moment, here in the sacred space with God. So you can choose to stay in your cat and cow or peel your toes under, press into your palms and make your way to your down dog. So we've been focusing on our blocks a little bit more than normal. So if you feel called to bring your blocks underneath your palms, you can go ahead and do that. So it kind of lifts the floor a little closer to you. Might feel a little bit different if you want to try something different. Bring your gaze in between your ankles, lift and spread your toes. So seeing if you can really deepen your breath here, reach your hips up high. I'm really choosing to be here. So if you're one, maybe kind of observe your thoughts, your feelings. Maybe you want to do some journaling after this yoga class. But they usually say if you're thinking about, if you're feeling a lot of regret or guilt or maybe even some sort of shame, you might be thinking more about the past. And then if you're thinking more about fear and anxiety and worry, then you're thinking a little bit too much about the future. So finding, and we all do these things, we all think about these things, it's what we do. But if we can try to stay here in the present moment, we'll learn to be here with God and calm our mind, our body, be more still, and not have as much anxiety, fear, guilt, and regret and all those things. So see if you can just stay here in the moment, not worrying about tomorrow. Taking one more big breath here. And then gently walk your feet towards your hands, coming into your forward fold. So if you want to grab your blocks and put them on the highest setting, at the top of your mat, you can go ahead and do that. And just hinge over your hips, lightly bend your knees, breathe in, breathe out. Breathing in and breathing out. Maybe you want to stay here, bring one hand on the floor on your block, lightly bend your left knee, and then reach your right hand either towards the sky or towards your low back. Just finding a little bit of a twist. And gently make your way back, bring both of your palms onto your block or to the floor, and then lightly bend your right knee, straighten your left, and either bring your left hand towards the sky or towards your low back again. So just finding that other side, breathing into the legs, into a little twist. Breathing into any tension. And then go ahead and find your forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. And then exhale, forward fold. Just hinging over your hips, bend your knees, root down, lift and spread your toes. So grabbing all four corners of your feet. And then slowly rise up, reaching your palms up towards the sky. So we're just going to find 2 sun salutation A's to warm up the body. Reach your palms towards the sky. So it's as though you're reaching up, you're being pulled, lifted high, but you're really rooted down into your feet. So one thing I always do is I stick my butt out. So see if you can pull the pit of your belly in. Inhale, and then exhale, bring your hands to heart center. Breathing in. And breathing out. That big breath is going to carry you through, is going to keep you here in the present moment. Finding one more breath in. Exhale, sigh out. Bring your palms by your sides. Then ground down into your feet. Reach your palms up towards the sky. Maybe add that back bend. Inhale, and then exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, maybe using your blocks if you'd like to, finding that flat back, and then move through your flow. So move into your upward facing dog if you're choosing to go there. Reach the crown of your head towards the sky. And then just meet me in down dog whenever you're ready. So remember that this is a slow flow. We're not moving fast, we're moving slow. We're being gentle, we're being kind. And I want you to notice, we're not gonna beat ourselves up when we see that our mind starts to wander. So when I started doing yoga, I was like, what is this present moment stuff? Like, what is, I just liked yoga because I really struggled with so much anxiety and I just wanted peace. And I found a lot of peace on my yoga mat the more I started doing more and more yoga, but I didn't really understand the present moment. And then I learned more about it, and then I would kind of get mad at myself, like, oh, I'm thinking about other things, or oh, my mind's drifting. And we don't need to beat ourselves up or be mad at ourselves. We just kind of have to notice. So more so in yoga, they call it becoming the observer. So just kind of observing yourself, not reacting to those observations or emotions, but just kind of noticing how you're feeling. So nothing too intense or judgy or anything like that. So go ahead and let's move through one more flow and then we're gonna add on. So go ahead and come back into your down dog. Bring your gaze in between your hands, slowly walk up. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down into your feet, root down, rise up, reaching your palms towards the sky. Inhale, and then exhale, hands to heart center, forward fold. Halfway lift, and then move through your flow. Inhale, upward facing dog, and then exhale, go ahead and meet into your down dog. Breathing in and breathing out. One more breath in. And then exhale, bring both of your feet together, reach your right leg towards the sky, coming into your three-legged dog. Hips are square towards the mat. And then go ahead and step it through, coming into your high lunge. Reaching your palms towards the sky. Inhale and exhale. Open out to your warrior two. So just finding this gentle, slow flow. So I naturally want to pull forward, but see if you can bring your shoulders over your hips. Pull that pit of your belly in. Inhale. Exhale. Flip your right palm, peaceful warrior. So remember, you can stay in any shape for as long as you would like to. Deepen the bend in your right knee. And then go ahead and bring your elbow towards your knee, or maybe you grab a block on the inside of that right leg, coming into your side angle. Reach your left hand towards the sky. So I like to hold maybe one or two poses a little bit longer than the others. So we're going to be in this shape for just a bit. So if you need to straighten your right leg, maybe come into triangle, you can. Or keep that right knee bent, so you can really get into that right inner thigh. Reach your left hand towards the sky. Big breath in, staring at one spot. So maybe on the ceiling, maybe on the floor, maybe on the sidewall, if that feels good to you. One more breath in. And then exhale, windmill your left hand down. Come onto your left knee. And then reach your right hand either towards the sky or towards that low back. So we're coming into that twist once more, but a twisted low lunge. Breathing in, breathing out. Remember, if you need to use a block here, kind of move the floor a little closer to you, you can. Maybe press your hips a little bit closer towards the mat. One more breath in. And then exhale. Coming into your upward facing dog if you're choosing to go there. And then moving into your downward facing dog. Breathe in, sigh it out. See if you can bend your knees maybe a little bit more, getting into those sticky spots. Then let's move to the other side. So whatever we do on one side, we do on the other. Bring both of your feet together, reach your left leg high. Three-legged dog, step it through, high lunge. So bring that knee over your ankle, maybe square your hips towards the mat, making sure your hips are square. Reach your palms towards the sky. Maybe even lift your toes, inhale. Exhale. Bring your back heel down. Warrior two, so finding that little flow. Flip your left palm, peaceful warrior. Breathe into your left side body. Bring your elbow to knee or grab your block coming into your side angle. So staying here for just a little bit. Lift and spread your toes. Peel your heart towards the sky. Spread your fingers. And remember to stay present in every pose today. Breathing in, breathing out. One more big expansive breath in. And then exhale, bring your right hand down, maybe onto a block, maybe onto the mat. Bring your right knee down and either bring your left hand towards the sky or towards your low back, just finding that little low twist. Breathing into any of that tension. Finding one more big breath in. And then exhale, move back into your upward facing dog if you're choosing to go there. Or if you're like me and just want to go to down dog, you can go there too. Maybe using your blocks, maybe not. And just taking a breath here in your down dog. Breathing in, sighing out. And just noticing how you're already maybe feeling more calm, maybe more present. Now the breath really anchors us in the present moment. So if you ever have tension in life, which we do have tension in life, or pain, or any sort of uncomfortable feeling, I'm going to invite you to really turn your breath on. And we're going to learn, we learn so much about our breathing in yoga and meditation. So if you're feeling restful, we only have a few more moments, and I just want to do a little bit of balance. So if you would like to add balance today, I'm going to invite you to join me. If not, you can stay in your child's pose, and we'll meet you there in just a moment. So go ahead and come into your down dog if you're not already there. Walk your feet towards your hands. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Ground down into your feet. Root down and then rise up. And then bring your hands to prayer center. Breathing in and breathing out. So we're going to do a little bit of balance on each foot. Ground down onto your left foot. Wrap your right leg over your left. So if this is too much, we're going to go into eagle. Then you can just stay in flamingo. So maybe just kind of point your right foot on the mat, root down into your left foot, lift your toes on your left foot. So really practicing standing on one foot. If you've been practicing for a while and you want to wrap your right leg over your left, remember it's always good to have a wall or something close by. Make sure those hips are still square. Maybe wrap your right arm underneath your left. Coming into eagle pose. Squeeze in tight, inhale, exhale. Align your elbows with your shoulders. You can choose to stay here if this feels good, or maybe open out to your airplane. So remember, you have your blocks there if you need them. Maybe holding onto your blocks, hips are square. Breathing in, breathing out. One more breath in, and then exhale, step your right foot to match your left, and then just let yourself hang, coming into your forward fold. So just a little bit of balance, nothing too intense. Ground down into your feet, root down, rise up, reach your palms towards the sky. Bring your hands back to center, and let's find that other side. Just a few more moments here. Wrap your left leg over your right. Finding eagle on the other side. Maybe place your hands on your hips. Left arm underneath right. Squeeze it in tight. Breathing into your back. Breathing into any tension. Maybe stay here or go into your airplane. So last little shape here. Maybe bring your palms by your side. Your right foot stays on 12 o'clock. Or maybe bring your palms, your fingertips on your block. Maybe reach that heel a little bit higher. Inhaling and exhaling. And then go ahead and find your forward fold. So lovely. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, move through your flow. Upward facing dog, big breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Big sigh out. And then let's go ahead and just meet our friends in our child's pose. Finding rest here, maybe grabbing a pillow if that feels good. Maybe bringing a block underneath your head. Just really taking a pause here. And just hear these words one last time before we find our final resting pose. Matthew 6, verse 34 says, "So do not worry about tomorrow. Let tomorrow worry about itself. Living faithfully is a large enough task for today." If you would like to end your practice in your child's pose, I'm going to invite you to stay here. If you love this pose and want to stay right where you are. Or gently come onto your seat. Bring the palms of your feet together. So you can take your feet out wide or closer together. You can grab your blocks and bring them underneath your knees if you'd like to. And then just hinge over your hips. Getting into any of those sticky spots. Breathing into any tension. Really notice if you can soften your jaw, your face. Breathing in through the nose. And then just sigh it out through your mouth. Maybe it helps you to just kind of find that breath as we end and seal our practice today. Breathing in, sighing out. And then gently rise. Maybe leaving your feet where they are and coming all the way down to your back. Maybe grabbing a bolster or pillow if you'd like one. And then find whatever placement feels good for you. So maybe you want to face your palms towards the sky. Maybe you want to place your hands on your heart, or maybe one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. I'm going to invite you to take this next few moments in our final resting pose to just really be here in the present moment. So knowing you're exactly where you're meant to be. There's nothing to do right now, but be here now. Laying down your worries, laying down your fears, taking a big breath in, big sigh out. Just choosing to find rest with God here in the stillness and silence, here in the present moment. A big breath in. Open the mouth and sigh it out. Choose to stay here if you feel called to do so, or want to linger in this space longer. Or find whatever you need before you make your way to your seat. Maybe a happy baby. Maybe you want to roll on one side. Maybe you want to find a feel-good morning stretch, whatever feels organic to you, and then make your way to your seat. There's no rush to get there. We'll seal our practice with a prayer, placing our hands on our hearts. Our eyes closed, breathing in, breathing out. Let's find one more of those together. Inhale and exhale. Where we just thank you for this present moment. We thank you for your love, for your grace. I pray that each and every one of us can just learn to be present with you, learn to lay everything else aside, our fears, our worries, our regrets, our guilt, and just be here with you in this moment, no matter what circumstances we are going through, knowing that you make all things good. So help us to just stay present with you, to slow down with you, to just draw closer to you in this time. If there's anything that's on our hearts, you know what that is. So I just pray that you heal those things, that you speak to those things here in this time or throughout our day today. And that when we go into the world, we really carry these practices that we're learning here out into our everyday doings, out into the people that we come across. And just help us to find this peace, this calm, this presence, this rest with you each and every day. It's in your name that we pray. Amen. And namaste. Thank you so kindly for joining me today. Like always, if you have any questions or want to know more about just anything in general, Lectio Divina, yoga, being present, please feel free to email me. You can email me at sacredpalmyoga.com or sacredpalmyoga@gmail.com. Or you can check out my website at sacredpalmyoga.com. So I hope you have a great day, and I hope to see you soon.